number 9 seed in Division 3. They lost to Norwalk, but when you look at it for this year, look who they have returning. A player in Jamie Leggett, also Eric Suzia, Rembish, who was a very quality player coming off the bench. He's going to be getting opportunities now in his first game as starting this season, with it being opening night.
Yeah, and don't be what do you call it? Fooled by Suzio's size out there. The man, for his size, is very athletic, and he can move out there, and he's going to cause some problems for Kennedy that they're going to underestimate.
And sticking with Suzio, Suzio is a 3-sport athlete. He's a football player who was just named All-NVL for offensive line. He's a lacrosse player. That's his main sport. Lacrosse. And you know what? It kind of makes sense for, we mentioned many, many times about how slick he moves, how he, obviously he's a bigger guy, and you would think, okay, bigger guys don't move very well. Well, he moves extremely well.
Yeah, he does. And he impressed me last year when we saw him. And all I can think of is he's had to have gotten even better this year. And Leggett, let's face it, the man's a scoring machine, and I expect to see 20 to 30 points coming out of him tonight. He proved that really nobody could guard him. He was going to get his points no matter what. The question is, does St. Paul's have the chemistry to have more than one player score? And does this new Kennedy team, do they have the chemistry to pull this together with? This is, the first game of the season is always that game where you're working out the kinks, you're working out the rust. Even the referees, talking to Jose Dos Santos, he looked at me, I said, don't worry, I'll take it easy on you tonight. It's your first game out there, you got to get back into the swing of things, and everyone knows they're going to miss calls tonight, and they're going to try to give us a good game and make sure it doesn't get out of control.
Is there any nervousness with it being the first game regardless?
The first game, and I was a freshman and I was starting. However, it came senior year, no, it was just anticipation, it was excitement. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like the two teams are. I think they're going to introduce the teams first, and then do the national anthem.
Correct. It will be St. Paul and then followed by Kennedy.
All right. St. Paul in the dark blue, Kennedy in the white and green numbers on there.
First player announced for St. Paul, number 1, Nas Houston, number 10, Logan Rembish, number 14, Jason Matthews, number 15, Jamie Leggett, and number 33, Eric Suzio, the starting 5 for St. Paul. And as we mentioned before, one of the top players for the St. Paul team and overall in the NVL is Jamie Leggett, an all-NVL player, and he's only 200 some odd points away from 1,000.
Oh, that'll be easy for him to hit it. No doubt about it. Some big names here in the audience tonight. Got good old Clay Johnson, as usual, from Holy Cross here taking pictures. Coach Billy Unwin here watching his son.
He'll be on for halftime.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you got some people showing up tonight to watch the game. Phil Lott used to be the all-time leading scorer in the NVL until that was broken 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
Maybe longer. But some people still think he didn't have all his points counted. Him being one of them. No.
Kennedy has Musolari, Trueheart, Tucker, James, and Serrano, the starting 5 for the Eagles. We'll send it back to the station when we come back. Tip-off here from Kennedy High School. This is opening night here in Kennedy. 1320 WHR, 7.7 FM. National anthem hasn't even started yet. white, away, black. There we go. The Jack Taglia Gymnasium here at Kennedy High School in Town Plot. You know, a hop, skip, and a jump for both myself and Dave Cramp, but, you know, being able to be here back doing basketball again, I can't think of anything better on a Friday night.
Well, there ain't much better during basketball season, that's for sure. I tell you what you just said there, Jack Taglia, man, that's a guy I respect. Mm-hmm. Jack was a wonderful coach, a wonderful human being. On top of that, he was my child's guidance counselor, my daughter Alexa's guidance counselor.
You've mentioned that before, yeah.
And he also, when I was doing this with Ali Vestro, and Ali went in for surgery, Jack came in and took over for, I think it was almost 2 weeks, where I was doing play-by-play, and Jack was doing the color.
Ooh, switching roles a little bit. I love it.
I got to do what you got to do sometimes, you know?
Serrano is in the center. For Kennedy, Jamie Leggett for St. Paul. Kennedy in their home white, St. Paul in their away black uniforms. Kennedy's ready. St. Paul is ready. Opening night from Kennedy. Little juke. Ball's thrown up and we are underway. Here from Kennedy High School, it starts with the Kennedy Eagles, Jabari James, top of the key. Going to the right side, Isaiah Tucker, number 23. Now Hakeem Trueheart. Trueheart inside to Serrano. Give and go underneath. Left low post. Back outside. Musalari to Trueheart. Outside. Tucker. Long range three. Off the glass. A little bit too hard. Loose ball picked up by Suzio. Suzio to Logan Rembish, number 10. Outside to Suzio again. St. Paul working outside the three-point line instead of going right to left on your dial. Kennedy left to right. Rembish, number 10. Over the ball quite a few times, also a baseball player as well for the Falcons. Throws the ball high, loose, retained by St. Paul. Deflected, stays with the Falcons. Jabari James going for a steal. Leggett turning outside, 7-12 in this first quarter. No score here from Kennedy. Leggett driving. Leggett lost the ball. Leggett is going to be off his left hand. Possession, Kennedy.
Well, you definitely saw from that interaction that the refs are going to let him play tonight. A little bumping in there, no call. I gotta let him run.
Tucker to Musalari, now James working by the press. Serrano outside. Trueheart for three. He misses, one and done for Kennedy. St. Paul going right to left on your dial. Suzio behind Rembish. And around the three-point line is St. Paul. Houston to Rembish, a sophomore. Rembish spinning. Working on Musalari. Rembish goes in, and Musalari blocked it, and it's going to be off of Rembish. Possession, Kennedy.
Kennedy's playing some tough inside basketball. The Falcons are getting the ball down low, but they are not letting them get it in. The Falcons out in a 2-2-1 full-court press.
Tucker trying to get by two defenders. And how about the awareness to throw it off of? It looked to have been Jason Matthews. Possession stays with Kennedy on the St. Paul 3/4 of the court side.
And he just got that ball off. Just before he hit the ground, he got it off.
Musalari to Jabari James. 6:29 in this first quarter. Still, nobody has scored in this. As I said, first quarter, air ball by Serrano. One and done are the Eagles. Here go the Falcons. Jamie Leggett, all NVL player, wearing number 15. Right at the charity stripe, he's spinning by. Good defense by Kennedy, retained by St. Paul. No, it's going to be stripped away by Kennedy. Then a loose ball. Looked a bit of steal by St. Paul. Leggett, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Kennedy. That's Isaiah Tucker. His first, team's first.
Good call by Jose Dos Santos right there. The Eagle player tried to get in there and tried to get the charge, but he was definitely moving. Referee got him moving, going to go 2 shots. These should be our first points of the game. This guy's money from the free throw line.
Almost 2 minutes in this first quarter, Dave, and nobody has scored as of yet. Again, we talked about maybe jitters, excitement, also chemistry. I mean, you got to think about it. The season officially started less than 2 weeks ago, and they jumped right into practice, right into games, and here we are, opening night.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for you to get some teamwork working there, cohesion working there, because if there's new people out there, you're not used to, what they're going to do on the floor, as opposed to if you got 5 seniors out there been playing all year with each other, you kind of know what's going to happen out there.
Like it makes both free throws. He's 2 and 2 from the free throw line. 2-0 in favor of St. Paul. We're 2 minutes into this first quarter. Tucker for 3. Misses the 3. 1 and done for Kennedy again. That's 3 back-to-back 1 and dones for the Kennedy Eagles. Give and go right side. And 1. A possible 3-point play for St. Paul. That was number 14, Jason Matthews. Fouls Serrano, his first, team second.
If you notice out there, Chris, Kennedy is breaking that press very easily, but they're not going to the basket. They're stepping out and launching a 3. Of all the shots they've taken, only one has been a 2-pointer. Everyone else has been a 3-point shot.
Matthews for the 3-point play, has it. St. Paul perfect from the charity stripe, 3 of 3. It's 5-0 in favor of St. Paul over Kennedy. Trueheart trying to get by 2 defenders, 3 foot to the court. Going left to right is Kennedy. Mussolari swinging around to James. Now Tucker from the right corner. Yes! The first points of the game for Kennedy. Isaiah Tucker.
And it was a 3-ball again. They got to make one of them.
5 threes to score. St. Paul leading by 2 with 5:27 to go in the first quarter. Chris Saunders alongside Dave Grant. Rembish guarded by Tucker. Houston inside the 3-point line from the right elbow. He can't make it, fighting for the ball. What looked to have been Suzio comes away with it. Suzio tries to make a quick pass to Houston, then it's stripped away by Kennedy. Trueheart trying to finish the bunny, and we're tied 5-5. 5:05 in this first quarter to go, but St. Paul trying to press the ball 3/4 of the court, going right to left on your dial. Houston, Rembish, Matthews, back to Rembish, now Houston. St. Paul being very patient, Dave.
Yes, they are.
They're
posting Leggett up down low, as opposed to, good box out that time. Did you see that box out by Kennedy?
Suzio deflected right to the hand of Matthews, and it stays with St. Paul. Houston, long range 3, he misses, and finally, Kennedy's able to get a defensive rebound. Trueheart, he'll try from the right elbow. Yes, and the first lead of the game for Kennedy is Akeem Trueheart with the 2. 7-5 Kennedy, 4:20 to go in this first quarter. An air pass, we're going to have our first turnover by St. Paul, thrown away. But Dave, to go back to your point about the box out, we're seeing a lot of offensive rebounding by St. Paul. The defense for Kennedy has not shown early.
No, and this has been a game of streaks so far. We're a 5-0 run by St. Paul to start the game, and then a 7-0 run by Kennedy right now.
Tavares is in for St. Paul. James to Trueheart. Outside Mussolari, 1 dribble, trying to get overhand. It's an air ball. Suzio takes it high from the sky. He's been a monster on the boards. Tavares, as we're inside 4 minutes, 7-5 Kennedy. 3, a little bit short. Isaiah Tucker will pick it up for Kennedy. And then it's slapped away. 2-on-1 in favor of St. Paul. Tavares, give and go, right side, good. And we're tied 7-7. Rembish with the 2. 3:30 in this first quarter. Chris Saunders alongside Dave Grant opening night. 3 by Tucker, he misses. Trueheart trying to get the offensive rebound, but it's off the hand of a St. Paul player.
Leggett was lucky he didn't get a foul called on him on that. He gave the Kennedy player such a shove there right in front of the referee too, and he just let him get away with it. Someone else in for Kennedy right
Mussolari
now?
is out, and then we're seeing Janarius Davis, a senior, is in. Big player, Dave Davis.
Yeah, he is.
Trueheart waits, 3, air ball. Serrano somehow is able to save it just behind the basket. And another chance for Kennedy. Horizontal pass to Jabari James. Tucker, another 3, and he has the 3. Second made 3 for Tucker. 10-7 Kennedy with 3:08 to go in this first quarter. Tavares to Leggett, horizontal pass. Also into the game is Staus, a senior, number 11. Leggett inside, pulls up, fade away, air ball, 1 and done for St. Paul. I think that's their first 1 and done in this first quarter, Dave.
Leggett's a little bit rusty right now. I mean, he's a little antsy. He wants to get some scoring in there, and he really forced that shot when he shouldn't.
Let's see who they call the foul on. It's on Suzio. Now, is it on Serrano or Davis?
It's on Serrano.
Yes, you were right.
Are you keeping track of the 3-point shots that Kennedy's taken?
I think it should be Tucker. We should be keeping track on for threes, but no, I'm not.
Oh, I did.
But
they've shot 11 so far.
And how many of them were on Tucker? Probably a good amount.
I don't know. All I know is they've made 2. They've made 2 out of 11 so far.
So that percentage, if I do my math right, is not good.
No, it's under 20%. You're right. Not good at all.
10-7 is the score if you're just catching us on 1320 WHR 97.7 FM in favor of Kennedy. 2:35 in this first quarter to go. Outside the three-point line is Leggett with Tucker guarding. Leggett trying to get away from Tucker, and it's a little bit high. One and done for St. Paul. Here goes Trueheart.
See how frustrated he is? He's forcing his shots.
Trueheart with a nice move, but it's a miss, Bunny. But Davis is there for Kennedy. A second chance for the Eagles. Mussolari for three. No good. Trueheart fighting for it in the paint, and he gets the foul. It's on Staus. His first, team's first. 2:10 in this first quarter to go. And we're going to have our first free throws for the Kennedy Eagles.
For the Kennedy Eagles, yeah.
Yes. St. Paul's 3 of 3. Trueheart at the line. He has 4 points. Wearing number 10, a junior, and he's gotten taller since last year.
Yes, he has.
That usually comes with high school players. They get taller. Free throw was missed, however.
You know, it's funny, when I was in high school, my good buddy and basketball playing buddy, Chris Metcalf, when he was a freshman, he was 6'3". By the time he was a senior, he was almost 6'8".
Second free throw is missed. 0 of 2 is Trueheart from the free throw line, but it's retained by Kennedy. Tucker slowing it down. 2:05 in this first quarter to go. 10-7 in favor of Kennedy. Tucker shot many of the threes. Give and go to Trueheart outside to Morrison for three. Swish! And how about the sophomore coming away with the third made three by Kennedy? 13-7 in favor of the Kennedy Eagles. Missed three by St. Paul. Mussolari fighting for it for Kennedy and throws it right back over to St. Paul. That's Jamie Leggett. Give and go, right low post. Missing the bunny. Leggett gets the offensive rebound. He puts it in looking for a foul. He's got 4. 1:30 in this first quarter to go. 13-9. Still in favor of Kennedy. Morrison. 3/4 of the court as the Kennedy Eagles go left to right on your dial. Davis. And he draws the foul, and that will be on number 11, Staus. That's his second, team's second.
You know, St. Paul's is coming out on a made basket, and they're going to 2-2-1 full court press, and they're dropping back to the old 2-1-2 press. Not a 3-2, not a 2-3, but a 2-1-2. It's an actual 2-1-2 zone where the guy is in the middle, and you got two wings on the top and bottom. And it's working well for him because it's forcing Kennedy to make all outside shots for the most part.
Free throw was missed by Davis as Staus is out. Back in is Suzio, and I forgot to bring your Alka-Seltzer, your Tums maybe, because 0 of 3 from the free throw line, Dave.
There you go.
Broadcaster's jinx. Free throw made. Davis 1 of 2 from the line. Kennedy is 1 of 4. St. Paul 3 of 3. 14-9, however, is the big score in favor of Kennedy. 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Leggett, who has 4 points. Suzio on the pick. Fade away. Air ball, wanting the foul. But it's off of Kennedy. And I'm seeing the frustration from Leggett. And you just wonder, is that starting to affect the game right now?
Well, he had a good reason to be frustrated on that. He was hammered on that shot, and no one called it. And like I said, there's going to be missed calls tonight. It's just, you're a scorer, and you get shut down, and you get antsy and frustrated, and then you start forcing shots that you shouldn't be taking.
Brembish to Leggett. Trueheart guarding. Leggett on the drive. Pump fakes. Right hand. No good. Right back to the hands of Leggett, and he gets the foul called, and the basket doesn't go in, but it'll be at the charity stripe for 2. We'll see who the foul is on. I'm looking at double 5. That's Victor Velez, who's into the game. His first, team's 4th.
And the crowd over here to the right of me clapping, saying, yay, about time you call the foul.
No.
But listen, I'm going to tell you something. The two of them have been consistent tonight.
They have been.
Right? And that's all you ask for is consistency. All right? Whether they let you play or call nitpick fouls, you want consistency. And they're calling it consistent tonight.
Free throw is made by Leggett as St. Paul is now 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. Houston is out. Repression, that's Tavares, and back in is Houston.
Houston, we don't have a problem.
With free throws.
Ooh,
oh, broadcaster jinx again. 1 of 2 is Leggett. That's the first missed free throw by St. Paul in this first quarter.
And now they're dropped down to a 2-3.
Morrison, 43 seconds in this first quarter to go. A 4-point lead for Kennedy, 14-10. Velez, right hand, good. Got away with a travel. He gets his first points. However, 6-point lead for Kennedy, down to 30 seconds in the first quarter. Rembish, 3/4 of the core on the side of Kennedy. As the Falcons go right to left on your dial. Matthews, number 14, back outside. Rembish, Matthews, one dribble, and drawing the foul, and I think they got that on double fives again. Velez, waiting for the call. Yep, double fives. His second, team's fifth.
Well, if you were holding for last shot, that was a little quick to make that move, but I guess he had a good opening. The coach not yelling, so they weren't holding for the last shot.
Matthews, first free throw is missed. He's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe, and now St. Paul's missed back-to-back free throws as Mike Decker, the senior, is into the game. Out is Leggett, and in about 14 seconds, a little bit of a breather for him.
Yeah.
Second free throw is good. 1 of 2 is Matthews. He's got 4 points. A 5-point lead for Kennedy in a 4-1 press. Kennedy breaks the press. 13 seconds. Trueheart, give and go. Velez, got it! A1! What a nice move by some big guys we got on the court, Dave.
You know, they got that ball up into the basket in less than 4 seconds. That's moving the ball up quickly.
Did not see who the foul was on, but that is St. Paul's third. The and one is going to be missed by Velez, so Kennedy with another missed free throw, but retained by Kennedy, trying to make a quick pass intercepted by St. Paul. Down to 3 seconds.
Gotta launch it.
Rembish driving, had it slapped away. He can't put up before the end of the first quarter. With the score 18-11, Kennedy leading over St. Paul. We'll be back with second quarter action in just a few moments. This is opening night from Kennedy High School on 1320 WATR 97.7 FM.
Well, they took 13 and they made 3 of them, so the 10 missed. 3 for 13 from the 3-point land. And Kennedy's matched its biggest lead of the night in 7 points. They got that 7-point lead. They went on that first run of theirs, and now the largest lead of the night so far for St. Paul's was their 5-0 burst at the beginning of the game, and they haven't led since.
Scoring totals, leadings after the first quarter. You got Jamie Leggett with 5, and then for Kennedy, you've got 6 from Tucker, followed by Trueheart and Velez, each with 4. As we begin the second quarter, possession on the St. Paul side, 18-11. If you're just catching us on 1320 WHR, 97.7 FM. 5 team fouls for Kennedy, 3 for St. Paul.
Looks like Kennedy's trying to do some sort of matchup man-to-man.
Rembish, 3, yes! And the Falcons, as they did in the first quarter, strike first in the second. Rembish has 5. 3 by James, no good. Leggett, long pass over to Suzio. Suzio, right side, good. His first points of the game. 18-15, Trueheart. Outside to Davis. Davis to James.
Just like that, a 7-point lead.
Morrison to Trueheart. Kennedy going left to right on your dial. Trueheart, 3, flush. He has 7, 21-15, Kennedy. Under 7 to play in the first half.
Didn't he make a 3-point? The St. Paul guy?
At least I thought he did. Rembish.
Yeah.
It looked like a 3.
They only gave him 2.
Okay, so Rembish only made a 2 on the previous shot. Falcons trying to answer back with some more points in the left low post. Twice, can't come up with it. Back over is Kennedy. And then too many dribbles by Trueheart. Turnover by Kennedy.
Trueheart was just trying to look at his teammate filling in the other side there and wanted to see if he could give him a pass, and just took his eye off the dribble and hit his foot, and out it went.
Rembish outside the three-point line. Leggett, who has 5 points. We'll try for a three from St. Paul. No good. That was Decker. Strum in the paint. Stays with St. Paul. That's Leggett, who's been a monster in the paint. Rembish, guarded by James.
This is a very physical game out here tonight, Chris. Very physical in all aspects.
Rembish outside to Leggett. Kennedy looking for a travel. Leggett goes up and he's fouled. 16 foul on Kennedy. It's going to be on Jabari James, his first.
Got awful quiet in here.
Very quiet.
He did.
St. Paul was 5 of 7 from the free throw line in the first quarter. Now 5 of 8.
That's uncharacteristic for him in his free throws. You got to imagine the fatigue is setting in on him from the physicality of this game and having to work so hard on offense just to get a shot off.
Another free throw missed. 0 of 2 is Jamie Leggett. Uncharacteristic, as you said, Dave, of a player who's almost money from the charity stripe. 21-15 Kennedy. 5:40 to go in this first half. Trueheart. Another three misses. Morrison, the sophomore, gets the offensive rebound. James to Trueheart. Contested, and it's good by Trueheart. He's got 5 in the second quarter.
A little warning right now. Touched the ball as it went through the hoop, pushed it out. The referee gave him the proper warning. Said, no, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Tucker's in, James is out. I was waiting for that.
You were waiting for one of those.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
And also, banks are open. We haven't said that.
We haven't seen any banks open yet, so we can't say it.
We've seen a lot of bricks from the three-point line. Trueheart on the steal. Trueheart goes up, wanting a foul, and will not get it, but it stays with Kennedy.
Good hustle back by St. Paul's to break that easy. We're going to have a timeout, I think, called by St. Paul's.
We'll have a timeout. We'll keep it right here.
30-second timeout, so it's not going to be a long one. Just doing a little readjustment over there. I think what they're going to say is, guys, we got to do a little bit better on our shot selection. And in the zone here, Kennedy is starting to get that offensive rebound. It looks like St. Paul's has gotten away from boxing out and is now trying to rely on just their athleticism to get the rebounds. So the coach is probably just trying to bring them back to the basics right now.
You made a great point, Dave, about Leggett, where you just wonder about how much energy he's exerting defensively. That's going to affect his offensive game. And we're starting to see that not just from the charity stripe, but just maybe also too frustration from the physicality, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and the problem is if you don't have another good scorer or very consistent scorer on the St. Paul team, and you're relying a lot of the scoring on him, well, then what happens is he starts forcing things, and you've got nowhere else to really go.
Davis, Morrison, high three. No good again. Trueheart gets the offensive rebound, and another chance for the Eagles. Tucker, guarded by Rembish. Davis from the right elbow. It's a brick, 2 and done. Long pass to Rembish. Yes, he did. He stepped out of bounds. A little bit too much on the line.
When I was in high school, we had all 5 of the starters could score 40 points any given night. So if any of the opposite team tried to focus on any one player, the star player just didn't score. The person that they keyed on just didn't score much that night, and we relied on the other 4, and they would do it.
Back-to-back turnovers, but how about the sophomore to get back defensively with the tip? Loses the ball, sliding on top of Suzio. How about the big man, Eric Suzio? Leggett for 3. Can't make the 3. 1 and done is St. Paul. How about the effort by Suzio?
That was phenomenal. That was like a fumble. Get on that ball. He dove on it. The big guy got on the ground.
Trueheart to Davis, and a move by another big guy. Davis with now 3 points in the game. 25-15, a 10-point lead for Kennedy. 4:15 in the first half to go. Houston to Matthews.
Now we do have a problem, Houston. It's a double-digit lead.
Rembish guarded by Tucker. Rembish, give and go to Leggett. 2 defenders on. Morrison had it slapped away for a second. Suzio with a nice move in, and the finish in the right low post.
Why did Leggett lose that ball, Chris?
Brought it down to the scorer.
There you go.
Under 4 to play in the first half, 25-17. Kennedy leading. Morrison, Musolare, good. He's got his first points.
Now that was a picture-perfect break the press. Picture-perfect by Kennedy.
Back to a 10-point lead for the Eagles. 3:30 in this first half to go. Armin Lavasser is 8th season with the program. Watching his squad as Leggett was hit, but somehow still made the basket, and he was looking for a foul call. He's got 7. I think he's justified for that one.
He was justified on that one. That should have been. That was one of the calls.
8 point. Yep. As Tucker was trying to shoot a 3, as he's looking at the referees like, I don't know about that one, but Joe Santos was right on that.
Oh yeah, he did the little hop, skip, and jump. And Coach Lavasser doesn't like it. They're having a couple words over there, but the bottom line was he did the little 2-step. That wasn't no European, whatever you call that crap. What's it called again? The Euro step. That wasn't any of that crap.
You hate that.
I do. That's a travel all the way.
Staus and Tavares are in. Leggett to Matthews. Musolari with a steal. It's a 1-on-1. Musolari with a Euro step, and it rolls out. 1 and done for Kennedy. They've got or 1 and done yet for Kennedy. St. Paul has the numbers, but then it's slapped away by Velez. Possession stays with St. Paul. Under 3 to play in the first half. 27-19 Kennedy.
That play was stolen. That pass was stolen because that's what we would call in school. We would go the old telegraph.
Leggett outside of Rembish. Rembish, back-to-back baseball players on this team for Leggett as well as Rembish. Truart working on Leggett. Leggett lost the basketball, stays with St. Paul.
Oh, they're
2:36.
bumping. They're bumping. You see them bumping?
Now, I like that by Dos Santos, calming things down before anything gets elevated.
Yeah, well, the Kennedy guy's being a cheap player right now. That's Trueheart just being just too cocky, and I don't like this. He's being very unsportsmanlike. And I don't know why he's talking to Leggett more than Trueheart. Trueheart just kept bumping him.
Leggett inbounding. Rembish behind the basket. Rembish with a move. Rembish goes in and is deflected away. Tucker wearing number 23. Jump step, right elbow, misses. Velez trying to fight for it. Loose ball, almost to Steve Phelps, the head coach for St. Paul. It stays with the Falcons.
Oh, what a block!
Truart with a block, and then Tucker with a hard foul on Leggett. And
he
he's
hit him
down.
hard in the face, yeah.
And he is down is Leggett. The help picked up by his teammates Matthews and Tavares. But a hard foul by Tucker.
As cocky as Tucker can be out there, he did that the right way. Okay, he was totally going for the ball, and the contact just happened incidentally. So, you can't get, saying anything flagrant or anything like that. Look, Dos Santos and Michael are still talking to each other there.
Now, I do have a question about what you just said, but I'll wait till after the first free throw. Leggett is at the charity stripe yet again. Leggett has missed
3
so
in a
far.
row, right?
Yes, he has, going back to the first quarter. Unlike of Jamie Leggett. He has 5 points, rather 7 points, looking for 8 and 9. First free throw. Good. St. Paul now 6 of 10 from the free throw line as Suzio's in, Matthews is out.
Now, what were we going to say?
Now, when you said Tucker as far as fouling right, what do you mean by that for people who may not know?
Well, if you're going to foul someone hard, you got to make it look like you're going for the ball. If it doesn't look like you're going for the ball, you're going to get a flagrant foul called on.
Leggett makes both free throws. St. Paul 7 of 11 from the free throw line. A 6-point lead for Kennedy. One dribble by Tucker. Another 3. Misses the 3. Velez hits it high. Rembish is just going to watch it go out of bounds. And it's back over to St. Paul. 2:01 in this first half to go.
You got to make it look like Coach Jay Say used to say. Give him a good tag. That's a good tag.
I like that.
Just enough.
Rembish inbounding the Leggett, who has 9 points in this game. Leggett, guarded by Trueheart, spinning outside the 3-point line to Suzio. 1:50 in this first half to go. Give and go to Suzio. Velez fighting for the ball, but last touch by Kennedy. Now, we do not have a player yet that has 10 points thus far.
I'll tell you what, Trueheart is getting to Leggett.
You think so?
He is. I like it got free that time.
3, rattles in and out, 1 and done for St. Paul, guarded by 2, but Tucker's able to get away from the pressure. Trueheart with a nice finish in the left low post.
Good move by Trueheart not to get the charge, knew where the guy was and went around him.
Zuzio in the paint, moving, working on Davis, misses. All ball in the air, Zuzio is down, and he's holding his right knee.
He's tough.
He's very tough.
He's tough. He's going to get up and walk that off.
I have to tell you, the heart that I'm seeing by this St. Paul team, they are staying with Kennedy, physicality-wise. I just wonder how long, though, can you?
Yeah, Kennedy is a very strong, athletic team and very well-coached team, and I think that their game plan has been very well so far tonight.
Rembish outside the Leggett. Leggett guarded by Tucker. Tucker may have been hit in the face, has kind of made a reaction after, but it's 1 and done for St. Paul. James, a little bit hard. And then how about Davis with a little bit of help with the garbage points. He's got 5. Under a minute to play in this first half. It's a 10-point lead for Kennedy.
That was good hustle by the big man to come down, fill the lane, and go up for that rebound.
Rembish to Tavares. Tavares, whistle has been called, was waiting for it, and backcourt violation.
Over and back.
Or over and back.
Or backcourt. They just call the same thing.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Wanted to make sure. 42 seconds in this first half to go. 10-point lead for Kennedy. Tucker to Trueheart, the only player in this game with over 10 points. He has 11. And it's last touched by St. Paul. 17 fouls for Kennedy, 3 for St. Paul. Halftime guest will be Coach Unwin, or former Coach Unwin of Watertown, who's watching his son play. He is on the bench. He's number 25, Gavin Unwin. Trueheart slaps. That's Suzio over to Rembish. Rembish trying to go coast to coast, and he's fouled hard by Trueheart. That's his first. Team's 8. 2 free throws for Rembish.
Great body control by Rembish that time to get up there, keep that ball high and get it protected and then up at the rim while getting the contact at the same time. St. Paul is going to have to do something to adjust to this physicality and do something to slow down this Kennedy offense, which is just running crazy.
Rembish, first free throw is no good. St. Paul 7 of 12 from the free throw line.
You know, with Kennedy, just when you think all they're going to do is fire up three-pointers, then they start running and then they start going inside.
Second free throw by Rembish is no good again. Davis on the defensive rebound. 7 of 13 is St. Paul from the free throw line, but how about the defense of St. Paul? 3/4 on the court on the side of Kennedy. They get the ball back with 15 seconds in this first half to go.
So they got a chance to break out of the double digits going into the locker room. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Leggett inbounding. Trueheart stretching out both arms. Vertical pass over to Rembish, looking exactly at how much time is left. 11 seconds in this first half. A 10-point lead for Kennedy. Rembish trying to give it to Suzio, and a little bit too much of a hard pass.
Watch how fast Kennedy tries to get this ball up the court. They got 5.3 seconds left. I guarantee you they get a shot.
How about a 1-1-3 defense by St. Paul? 4 seconds. Trueheart looking how much time. Mussolari, 3. A little bit too hard. And the first half has concluded. 31-21 in favor of Kennedy. We'll send it back to the station when we come back. We should be having Coach Unwin here for the halftime with Dave Grant, the big guy himself. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Correct. Absolutely. I tell everybody that.
How's it feel to be on the other side, man? Sitting there in the stands now.
I'll tell you, it's taking a little getting used to.
Yeah,
I'll tell
isn't
you
it?
that.
Yeah.
It's weird. So, I'm like 14-year run with Coach Vance, and I'm trying to figure out how to be a parent now.
Yeah, well, it comes a point in time where, you have to make that tough call, and I'm going to tell you from a father of 5, I'm proud of you, man. That's the call. You can always coach again later on in life. Your kids are only young once, and they got to see their parents supporting them, and their father, for the sons especially, supporting them out there. So my hat's off to you to make that tough decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my kid's a sophomore over at St. Paul, and last year, I had a decision to make as well, and I was like, so what are we doing here? Like, am I stepping away so I can watch you? And the little guy says to me, no, I want to play against you. So we had 2 games against each other. He got the best of me both times. He's got bragging rights in the house.
All right.
And then after that, I decided that, missing 85% of his games and coaching for another school to play each other twice just wasn't worth it for me. So.
Like I said, I think you made the right decision. I support you 100%. To this game right here, what are your takes on what's going on out there? I know what my takes are. I got them written down here. Let me hear what you have to say.
All right. So my thoughts are that I got to admit I like what Phelps is doing because, right, so you got the Leggett kid, the All-State kid, right, probably 25, 27 a game last year, something like that. So you figure the kid's going to come back for 30 this year. Then after that, you don't know where your scoring's coming from, right? So they lost a bunch of kids. So what you're doing is, I think what he's trying to do is, obviously every team in the NBL is going to key on the Leggett kid, right? You don't know where the rest of your offense is coming from, so let's play fast, right? Let's get the easiest available bucket that we can get the quickest that we can. 2 reasons why I think it's good. You're getting down the court quick and you're getting an easy shot as opposed to trying to run an offense, right, and just see what you have in a half-court set. I think you're better off trying to get out, which is kind of uncharacteristic from some of the suburban schools, but it's a good move, right? And think of it this way. It gives these kids a year head start because next year the shot clock's coming. So you might as well get used to the pace now.
Yeah, get used to the pace and used to the fact that Leggett's not going to be here next year also on top
right.
of it.
So I think they're trying to figure out, like, for me a big play was, the Susio kid got down the court for a layup and he's their big burly center and he was down the other end for a fast break. So they're looking to push the ball.
I love him.
I thought that, on the other end, I thought Kennedy made a pretty good adjustment with losing Lennox, right? He had the 2 early fouls, and then what did Kennedy do? Kennedy came out and shot the 3 pretty well, right?
Well, I would say pretty well.
Okay, right? So it kept him in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
right?
no, that kept him in the game, definitely.
The 3 ball helped. And then, believe it or not, the kid who really made a big impact for Kennedy was the Velez kid at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
He came in, had a nice little rebound, had a nice reverse layup. He gave him a couple, like the bench, Kennedy's bench did a good job of making the 2 early fouls by Serrano not hurt as bad, right?
Yep.
So even with their best player, Serrano, right, and probably one of the best players in the NBL, you're looking at a 10-point lead, and he played, 3 minutes maybe?
Maybe,
So,
you're right, yep.
So I think Kennedy did a good job of learning how to play with probably their best kid, right?
Yeah. So just to let you know, they were 4 for 20 from the 3-point land.
All right.
But still, the 4 that they made were significant, or big spots.
Right.
I think out there, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the physicality of Kennedy is starting to get get to the St. Paul's. As a suburban school, you're kind of used to having more fouls called. I think the referees are letting them definitely play here tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's getting chippy.
That's working into Kennedy's favor because you can see the frustration on the St. Paul players' face. They're getting hammered on some shots that I think should be called fouls, and they're letting them play. They're just letting it go out there. So that's working towards the Kennedy's favor. I do like what you said about St. Paul trying to get up, get the best shot. Unfortunately, they just haven't found that rhythm yet in that speed. They're so used to that bring it up, let's run this play, all right, and we get the shot. Now it's like, okay, let's fast get this up. And they're pressing all the way through. They're doing their 2-2-1 back to their 2-3.
So defensively, I think what they're trying to do is the opposite, right? They're trying to slow Kennedy down, so you throw the 2-2-1 press at him, and then they threw a pretty good zone at him, right?
Yep.
Which forced Kennedy to shoot all those threes,
exactly,
right?
yes.
So they put him into the position, and why not do that? Because their interior post with Serrano wasn't in the game, right? So then make them shoot the ball from distance,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
They didn't do that well, but yeah, like you said, I think it's an adjustment for St. Paul trying to learn a new offense, right?
All right.
So they did all right. They're not that far out of the game. It's going to be interesting to see a 10-point lead, but it'll be interesting to see. Now you got your best player back on the court, and now you'll see how this game goes. But for moments there, it did get really chippy, though. You know, kids were getting a little physical.
Yeah. So on a final, before we close out this halftime show, what does St. Paul have to do to get back in the game? What does Kennedy have to do to continue on for a win?
So I thought Kennedy did a really good job of keeping Leggett under control, right? So if Leggett has a better second half and they can continue to get some shots in transition, and then Kennedy, obviously, I think they're in a good position because now they got their best kid coming back. So now we'll see what Kennedy's really like with all their true pieces on the court, right? So that's my thoughts. I don't know. I'm just looking forward for a really nice season this year.
Well, again, I am so glad that you decided to. Not that you weren't a great coach. I loved your combination of you and Vance together. But I just think it was the right thing to do. And when you told me, before you announced it, that that's what you were going to do, I don't mean to sound condescending or anything, but I felt really proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on halftime. Billy Unwin, former coach over at Watertown High School, now taking the spectator, taking the parent role, and watching his child play. Hats off to him. We've got 23 seconds left before the buzzer sounds off. I think Coach Unwin had a few good points there. It's going to be scary to see what Kennedy's like with their best player back on the floor now. If they're just going to put it in a high gear, or on the other end, will St. Paul find someone to step up and make some shots that will open it up and let Leggett have a chance to get loose also. So, and the referees did a great job in the first half.
Got to get that in.
Well, it's usually me saying the opposite, so it's pretty good for a first game of the season. Listen, again, what I said, you're going to miss some calls, but it's consistency, and they've called this game consistent all the way through. So no one can complain that they're calling it one way on one side and one way on the other side. They're calling it consistent all the way through.
And you made a great point. We didn't even mention this during the game as far as Serrano was out since the first quarter because of 2 fouls.
Yep.
So for Kennedy to be at with the score being a 10-point lead, with Serrano not only being out but not having any points, like you said, I'd be curious to be able to see what happens with the Kennedy Eagles in the second half.
All right, here we go. Ball's going in, and we're off.
Kennedy Eagles in their home whites going against St. Paul in their away black uniforms. The third quarter, 31-21 is the score. Just underway in the third quarter, Serrano to Tucker. Tucker in the paint. Mussolari with a move, and he'll finish the first points of the game. First points in the third quarter. Mussolari, he's got 4. Leading scorer was Trueheart in the first half with 11, and Jamie Leggett for St. Paul with 9. Rembish over to Leggett, who I just mentioned, an all-NBL player last year, also a great baseball player for the St. Paul Falcons, helped lead St. Paul to a Class S championship last year for baseball. Rembish, he was a part of that as well. Leggett, St. Paul is going to the left to right side of your dial, Kennedy right to left. 3/4 of the court still dribbling is Rembish. Rembish to Leggett, guarded by Trueheart, staring him down. Leggett cutting left side, loses the ball. Trueheart diving, but last touch by Kennedy, and the possession St. Paul.
Now, did you notice Coach Unwin was saying get the first good shot and go. Well, now St. Paul's gone back to that deliberate offense right now. They were very patient before they didn't even take a shot, and they must have made about 15 passes.
Rembish, Leggett trying to draw the foul on Serrano, does not draw the foul, but Suzio's in for the second offensive rebound, and it's good by Suzio. He's got 6, and he gets the first points of this third quarter for the Falcons. Back to a 10-point lead for Kennedy. Tucker gives it to Serrano, no foul called, one and done is Kennedy, but it looks like it was off the hands of a Falcon player, Dave.
Yeah, didn't hold on to that ball very well. Houston, we had a problem on that one. That was him. It was Houston.
I was trying not to laugh. It is funny. 6:34 in the third quarter to go. 10-point lead for Kennedy, 33-23. Serrano, who sat out most of the first half because of 2 personal fouls, has yet to score. Trueheart leads the team with 11 points. Does have one made 3 in the game. Tucker from the charity stripe, no good. James, second chance, no good. Third chance, and look who it is. It's Mussolari again. He's got 4 in this third quarter, 6 total. 35-23, Kennedy. 6 minutes to go in the third. Matthews to Leggett, top of the key. Leggett with a spin on Trueheart. Suzio bullying Serrano. Suzio waits. Suzio finishes, falls, and gets right back up. The big guy's got himself 8 points.
I'll tell you, he's a monster in there, man. He's a monster in there.
And you have to think about it, too. He landed on his knee a little bit rough, so he's playing at less than 100% right now.
He's not afraid of anyone in there. He's not going to take the ball up against anybody.
He's an all-NVL player for a reason, for football. Serrano with a 10-point lead back for Kennedy. It's been moving around 10 to 12 points thus far in the third quarter. Under 6 to play. Trueheart, Jabari James, Kennedy waiting patiently. Tucker with Rembish guarding. Outside to Trueheart. Trueheart guarded by Houston. And a whistle blown.
30-second timeout by Kennedy on the play. So
we'll keep it right here.
Keep it right here.
And I want to go to something really quick because I know Coach Unwin, I keep calling him Coach because I still think he's a coach. I don't care. He mentioned the shot clock, and I really have not been able to talk to you about that. That goes into effect next year. 35 seconds. What are your thoughts? I think it's great. Uh-oh.
I don't know.
I see the brain working a little bit.
I still have to think this one through.
Okay.
Part of high school basketball is teaching discipline and fundamentals, and I'm afraid with the shot clock, it's just going to get down to street ball, and I don't want to just see them running up and down without learning the basics and learning the fundamentals of the game. So I'm not saying I'm not for a shot clock. Maybe a little longer than 35 seconds. I don't know. It'll be interesting next year. Put it that way.
It's almost you want to see kind of them have extended plays and have a purpose.
Yeah, right? I don't want it to get into a running up and down the court type game because you got a shot clock and you're not you're not playing basketball. You're just playing street ball.
James, inside the paint, gets his zone. What looked to have been deflected off his hands. One and done is Kennedy. Suzio on a defensive rebound. Leggett will bring it up. Long horizontal pass to Rembish, number 10. St. Paul's in their away black uniforms, known as the Falcons, coached by Steve Phelps, his 31st season as a head coach. St. Paul, part of the Iron Division. Kennedy, a part of the brass. Deflection, Suzio, pump fakes, and Serrano with a nice block. Isaiah Tucker is able to hold his poise, guarded by Rembish. Now Trueheart. Trueheart, guarded by Houston with the left hand. It's an air ball. Serrano, it deflects off of Matthews for St. Paul. How about a play by Serrano?
Serrano wants to play. He's had the whole first half. He's out there. He's going to do whatever he can. He's going to hustle his butt up out there.
Solari is inbounding behind the basket of St. Paul. And number 5, Serrano for 3, right side, no good. One and done again is Kennedy. 4:25 in the third quarter to go. Still a 10-point lead for Kennedy. Rembish, guarded by Tucker. Now Tavares, guarded by James. Leggett with Trueheart guarding. Leggett with a nice move, a little bit off the glass, but Trueheart gets his own offensive rebound and puts it in for 2. His first points of the third. He's got 11, tied with Trueheart for the team lead on both teams rather. James Mussolari getting around the press. Trueheart wearing number 10. 8-point lead for Kennedy. We're under 4 minutes in the third. James outside the 3-point line to Tucker. Tucker back to James. James. 3 right elbow from Serrano, his first points of the game. Back to a 10-point lead for Kennedy.
If you noticed on the St. Paul press last time, it's a more passive press. We got Leggett coming in the middle. No, that's not Leggett. That was, what's his name? I don't have him down.
That was Jamie.
Oh.
That was him. You were right.
All right.
That was Leggett. The foul was on Mussolari, his first, team's first here in the second half. Leggett spinning. Leggett pump fake. Serrano had it tipped, but just off the right knee of Serrano. It stays with St. Paul. Number 14, Jason Matthews.
I didn't write him down.
You know what? How could you forget Matthews?
I don't know. I was wondering, I said,
Maybe it's a number.
I don't have a 14 on my thing here. I must have went right over it.
Maybe it's a number. Maybe a 14, bothered you when you played a Pompero. Tavares to Rembish. I know, terrible joke. I'm not known for jokes.
My girlfriend's birthday's on the 14th.
Oh, there you go. Morrison. How about the Dave, I just want to talk about this sophomore. He has 5 points. Coming off the bench, what a nice player.
Yeah, he's, I tell you, Coach Lavasser over there has got some nice things looking forward to. This Kennedy team is looking like a real strong team out there.
As well, another substitution. Tavares is out for St. Paul. Back in is Decker. Also, Morrison's father is the assistant coach for Kennedy, so he's got to be very happy as well. Inbounding is St. Paul behind the basket of Kennedy's. They go left to right on your dial. Decker to Rembish. Leggett guarded by Trueheart. Posting him up. Leggett went up and a foul called on Trueheart. That's his second, team second, and Leggett will be at the free throw line for 2 shots.
You see how Leggett pointed to his arm where there was a scratch there and made a comment? Like I said, the physicality is I'm not saying it's taking him out of the game. I'm just saying it's wearing on him a little bit.
Leggett 5 of 8 from the free throw line in the first half, makes the first. Kennedy now 8 of 14 from the free throw line. Here's Saunders alongside Dave Grant. Opening night here from Kennedy.
2:55 left in the third quarter, 39-29 in favor of Kennedy.
Both free throws made by Leggett. He's got 13. Tucker, 10-point lead for Kennedy. Trueheart working on Suzio. Trueheart is able to get a little bit of help from his hometown rim. As the basket's good. 13 for Trueheart. Rembish back to a 12-point lead for Kennedy. Rembish guarded by Tucker. Rembish, low percentage shot. Suzio trying to keep it alive, but there's Matthews. He misses, but gets his own rebound. And how about the effort? Third time's a charm for Jason Matthews. He's got 6.
We got a timeout called by St. Paul, full timeout. We're going to take a break here, Chris.
Why not? 2:19 left in the third. 41-31, a 10-point lead for Kennedy as the timeout was called by St. Paul. This is opening night here from Kennedy High School in the Jack Tagley Gymnasium, right here on 1320 WHR 97.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. You would expect it to be a higher scoring game because there's been so much up and down the court, so much physicality, so much fast pace that you would think there would be a higher scoring game. and yet here we are with 2:19 left in the third quarter, and it's only 41-31. I mean, we've been to games where, Crosby scored 31 points in the first quarter.
I've seen that way too many times.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So, I mean, here you are, almost at the end of the third quarter and only 31 points. And again, at the end of the third quarter, only 41 points.
Kennedy has Davis, Trueheart, Tucker, Morrison, and Serrano. As Kennedy, Morrison in the corner off the hands of Davis, but Serrano's right there. Morrison keeps it alive, the sophomore off the knee. Yep, you're right. Stays with Kennedy. St. Paul has Matthews, Rembish, Staus, Decker, and Leggett. With 2:03 to go in the third quarter, a 10-point lead for Kennedy. Trueheart outside the three-point line, found an opening with Tucker, but he can't finish. But there's Serrano, he's fouled. And he'll have 2 free throws.
What about the presence of Waterbury's finest tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 between police officers and firemen. I think some of them are here just spectating, to be honest with you.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because you remember the firehouse is down the street.
Yeah.
Free throw by Serrano. Good.
We both know that. We live in this area.
This is true. You've lived here longer than I. Staus is out, Suzio's in for St. Paul. Now that is the first free throw attempted by Kennedy since the first quarter.
Oh.
And that's a miss by Serrano, so 1 of 2, but Trueheart keeps it alive. Kennedy 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Davis, 1 dribble. Gives it to Serrano, back outside to Trueheart. Trueheart with a dribble. Trueheart trying to get by traffic, and then Trueheart with a nice soft left hand.
You don't want to hear what I have to say about that, right?
Oh, the Euro step. He's got 15. 3 by Matthews is short, and still St. Paul has not made a 3 in this game thus far.
Look at the big man running up the court.
Love it. Davis to Tucker. Pump fakes on Rembish. 3 is no good, but fighting for the ball is Davis, working on Suzio. Right to the hands of Morrison. Fadeaway 3, no good. And then Leggett gets a defensive rebound. Here go the Falcons. That's Jamie Leggett. Outside to Rembish. Left corner 3. First made 3 for St. Paul in the game. It is an 11-point lead for Kennedy. Under a minute to play in the third. Morrison, right corner 3, trying to answer back. He can't. Serrano gets the offensive rebound. Second chance, third chance, and he can't be stopped. Serrano for 2. 46-33. Under 40 to play in the third.
See, now that should be 34 if they gave him a 3-pointer.
So I wonder, is somebody not doing the score correctly? As Matthews will miss it in the paint.
Because
Back
that was
to Davis.
definitely a 3-point shot.
It was. Trueheart. And then a missed dunk by Serrano, but he draws the foul.
That's the way to go. Suzio says, I don't care how good of a player are you. You ain't dunking on me. And I don't know how they haven't noticed that it's only a 2-pointer put up there.
I'm very surprised by that. Serrano back at the free throw line for 2, so it should be 46-34.
Yep.
They have 33, which is...
And I wonder if that's the same thing that happened in the first half when we saw him, what we thought was a 3-pointer that they had.
And I thought so. And if that's the case, then that should be the second made 3. Free throw made by Serrano. Kennedy 3 of 7 from the free throw line as Rembish is out. And it looks like Tavares is back in for St. Paul. Also a substitution for Kennedy. Tucker is out. James is in. Now looking for point number 7. As the free throw is good. 4 of 8 from the free throw line is Kennedy. 48-33. We think the score in favor of Kennedy. Under 20 to play in the third. Suzio outside. Long 3 by St. Paul. No good. Morrison has it for Kennedy. Vertical pass to Trueheart. Down to 6 seconds. Back on defense is Decker. Trueheart outside. Davis from the left corner. The big guy makes the 3. How about that to end the third quarter? He's got 8. And Kennedy with their biggest lead of the game. 51-33. We'll take a break. The fourth quarter. We'll be back, or rather we'll be here before you know it. Opening night here from Kennedy High School in the Jack Tagley Gymnasium is the Kennedy versus St. Paul matchup right here on 1320 WSR.
You think a 3-point went in. I think it should be 34, but I can't do anything about it. I don't think that 1 point would matter at this point anyway. Scoring by quarter so far, Kennedy 18-11 in the first quarter, 13-10 in the second quarter, and 20-12 in the third quarter. So they've won every single quarter easily and handily, and this is what's put them in the lead. Just a little bit here and a little bit there, and it all adds up to a big thing.
Scoring totals thus far through 3 quarters. The leading scorer for St. Paul is Jamie Leggett with 13, and for Kennedy, it is Hakeem Trueheart, the junior, with 15 free throws. 4 of 8 is Kennedy, 9 of 15 is St. Paul. Inbounding is Leggett. The fourth quarter has begun. Houston to Decker, 3/4 of the court as St. Paul going left to right on your dial. Leggett wearing number 15, guarded by Trueheart. Staus, number 11, senior, Suzio. From the free throw line, will dribble a couple times, looking towards Leggett, his fellow senior teammate. A number of seniors on this team. For St. Paul, Leggett able to retain the basketball defensively, and a nice finish by Jamie Leggett. He's got 15.
Well, he's definitely not giving up out there. Hey, he's getting banged and bumped and swatted at, and he just kept going, and he really wanted to finish that off, and he did.
Davis inbounding the teams after 2 points made by St. Paul, 51-35 in favor of Kennedy. 7:18 to go in the game. Serrano to Davis, soft left swish. Dude, that was pretty. That was very pretty.
I'm impressed. He's played very well tonight.
He's got 10 points.
Davis has played extremely well tonight.
Jump ball call, possession Kennedy. And another thing too about Davis, not only is he a big player, but it's not like he doesn't have bricks for hands. It's a very soft touch by him.
Yeah, it is. It almost reminds me of like a Sam Perkins.
Yes, you're right.
That's what he looks like out there, like a Sam Perkins.
Trueheart, guarded by Suzio. Vertical pass, almost taken away by St. Paul. Trueheart gets by 1 defender, 2 defenders, and an easy basket for Trueheart. He's got 17. 55-35. A 20-point lead for Kennedy. 6:38 to go in the game. Leggett, 3. A little bit short, 1 and done is St. Paul. Morrison, the sophomore's Leggett, slipped maybe on his own 2 feet. Trueheart outside. Jabari James, catch and shoot 3. Misses. Suzio gets a defensive rebound. Decker over to Houston, and he gets a basket. His first points of the game. 18-point lead for Kennedy. 6:14 to go in the game. Trueheart. Horizontal pass, James to Morrison, back to James, now Trueheart. Suzio trying to guard Trueheart, may have contested enough to miss the 3, but it stays with Kennedy. Outside the 3-point line. Davis is calling for it. Now Davis setting the pick, no, he moves back. Trueheart trying to get by Suzio, outside James. Morrison, right corner 3. No good. However, stays with Kennedy, and then Trueheart will finish yet again. He's got 19. Under 6 to play in the game. 20-point lead for Kennedy yet again.
Now, have you noticed that since Kennedy has broken out in this big league, they're all going back just trying to fire up the 3-pointer?
Davis takes it away from Leggett, goes behind, fakes out like defender, but misses in the left low post, and then Kenny misses twice. And Davis somehow comes away with the basketball. Serrano outside. Davis, here he has 1, made 3, and there's another!
You want to see him make that. After all the effort he put in on offense on that one, you've got to be happy that he made that 3 ball.
And he throws the arrow after making the 3. Leggett goes up high, contested, it's no good. Kennedy's on a streak. Faking defenders left and right is Kennedy. And a missed 3 by Morrison. Heat check by Kennedy. And a jump ball called. And now Suzio and James saying something. A nice job by both sides. Separate both teams. Right thing to do. Now the energy and I think the physicality by both teams is starting to show.
Yeah, we got a smart timeout called by Coach Lavasser right here. 30-second timeout on the floor.
We'll keep it right
full timeout. We'll split.
No, let's keep it right here because you know what? Let's talk about that really quickly because I think a nice job by the officials, but also by the teams because this is the first game of the season. I understand the score is running away from St. Paul, but You saw both teams separate both James and Suzio. Like we said, it's been very hotly contested. The physicality is there, but you don't want to see anybody be suspended or see kind of remember what we saw last year with Naugatuck, where we saw Mackay Petaway for St. Paul kind of. Thankfully, nobody was ejected, but we saw it get to a point, and I think right there we saw it not get to that point, which was a good thing.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I don't think I'd want to mix it up with Suzio, to be honest with you.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. If you're ever in a scrum, and there's some people you want to call, Suzio's the guy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that.
But looking at the game, I mean, Davis. I feel like, again, I don't want to jump all the way to championships, but when you think about successful teams, right? Last year, Zielinski, Alves, Hicks was a big player. Could Davis, what we're seeing now, he could be an X factor for them.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. As long as this isn't just his one game.
Well, that's the thing.
We've got to see during the season how consistent he becomes.
Correct. Serrano, one and done for St. Paul. Rembish defensively off the knee, right back over to St. Paul. Leggett for three. Misses the three, fighting for the ball is Rembish. That's Serrano. Velez will bring it up. Velez, Musolare. He'll miss the bunny, but Velez will put it in. He's got 6.
And of course, a couple of minutes ago, the fat lady already started singing left, went home, having hot chocolate right now.
Rembish outside, Leggett. As St. Paul goes left to right on your dial. Leggett guarded by Tucker. Leggett will miss the bunny, rather the J. One and done is St. Paul. Tucker, 3/4 to the court on the side of St. Paul, right to left on your dial, guarded by Rembish. Tucker, missed steal by Rembish. Morrison, Musolari to Velez. Outside, Morrison. Good ball movement by Kennedy. 3 by Tucker. Misses. Velez puts it up. Slapped away by Suzio. Here goes St. Paul. It's Houston. And then a whistle blown. Foul called on Tucker. That'll be his third. Team's third.
Now, like I told you, all right, we got this big, huge lead. We took 13 3-point shots in the first quarter. And then we sort of settled out in the second and third quarter, Kennedy. And now they're back up to 10 3-point shots in the fourth quarter here.
3:30 to go. 62-37 Kennedy. Matthews outside the 3-point line to Houston. Give and go. Rembish with traffic. Leggett wide open from the right corner. Misses the 3, and that was a hard miss.
There it goes, alley-oop.
Puts it high, and Serrano misses the dunk.
That was thrown up too high.
A little bit high. Now, if you're, as the whistle was blown, does Coach Lavasser maybe not like that? A little bit?
Well, you know what? You got to let your kids be creative. You got to let them have fun too. And that's what, that's part of it there. Let me get a great pass to you for a dunk. I want to be part of that, that alley-oop dunk. And so, maybe in a situation where it's a close game, you're going to sit your butt next to the coach. But it's the game's out, already been decided. So you don't fret that, you don't sweat that as much. That's a little thing, not a big thing.
Look who's into the game. Unwin is in. And he loses the ball, however, in the paint. Trying to go for the steal was Rembish, but Morrison retains for Kennedy. Also in for Kennedy is Sheehan, number 24, who committed a foul earlier. Now lost the basketball. Leggett dribbling. Leggett contested and draws the foul on Morrison. Morrison's first, team's 5th. Leggett at the free throw line for 2.
Leggett said something to him. They're having words back and forth.
Leggett at the free throw line again. First 2 times here in the 4th.
You realize we've gone almost 2 minutes without a score?
Before that.
All the action up and down.
St. Paul 10 of 16 from the free throw line. How about the beginning of the game? We had 2 minutes before a free throw or a point was scored.
Yep.
Basket too, if you want to count that. As now we're starting to see some subs. The second-tier bench players coming in.
Look, Billy's kid out there. He's got big doggies. He's going to grow into them. So he's not done growing yet. He's only 14. He's not done growing yet. He's going to be almost as tall as his dad.
Which he's very tall.
Yeah.
Leggett makes both free throws from the free throw line, as I said, and a basket made by Sheehan, his first 2 points. 2:28 left in the game. 64-39, Kennedy. Leggett outside. Houston, 3, misses. Velez, defensive rebound, trying to get away from the traffic. He does to Sheehan. Sheehan will bring it up. Sheehan 3/4 of the court, outside to Tucker. High arcing 3, misses. Offensive rebound by Morrison, and it stays with Kennedy.
And of course, next Thursday we'll be at my alma mater, Pomperaug High School, to do the Pomperaug-Nanawa game. It's a very interesting date to do that game on. We'll talk more about that next week.
I wonder why.
Yeah, we'll just get a little preview on that, all right? Just leave a little preview. We'll let you think about what we're going to say when we get there. I text the coach over at Pomperaug, Dave Yakis. He was very excited that we were coming into the gym there.
I have to talk to him.
Yeah, I got his phone number. I got his cell number. I'll give it to you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I know we have a very good spot. I know the AD, Ron Plasky, first free throw by Morrison's no good. I think he's going to treat us very well.
Yeah, I know Ron very well. He's a really nice guy. He's done a great job over there. He took over from Joe Velarde, and he's doing a real good job with the program over there. His brother used to be the football coach over on Naugatuck High School.
Yep.
He's a gym teacher, Rob.
I coached his son for Senior Legion for Naugatuck way back when.
All right, sweet.
Nice ball player, real nice.
But yeah, Plasky will do a good job for us over there.
I'm looking forward to being in that gym. I don't know if ATR has ever done a game.
We did a Pomperaug Wilby game there in the state tournament 7-8 years back.
So before I was here.
Yep.
So it'll be second time.
Yep.
Second free throw made by Morrison, 1 of 2. Kennedy, 5 of 10 from the free throw line. St. Paul, 11 of 17. 65-39. Kennedy, Staus, 3, good.
All right, let's see if they give it to him. I gave it to him this time.
Maybe off by a couple points, but I don't see the correction being changed. 65-42, Kennedy. Unwin waiting to come back into the game. Morrison, going number 32, Leggett going for the steal. Leggett gets the steal, and Leggett with a nice bunny in the right low post.
We'll have a timeout call just to get some substitutes in.
I wonder if Leggett will be taken out, and it looks like he will be. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll keep it right here as now all the subs are basically into the game.
Yeah, they're just calling the timeout just to sub, and they're going right back to the action here.
So Leggett will finish with 19 points. Suzio will finish with 8. Matthews 4. Rembish 7, and then Houston with 2. We'll get to Kennedy's the next whistle as far as total points.
So next week we got 2 games, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday and Friday. We're going to be Nottawaga at Pomperaug on Thursday and Seymour Crosby on Friday.
Not doing the Crosby game.
We're not doing that game?
No, we don't have a board out for that game.
Really?
So that game, what you have off.
Oh, okay.
But we have the following game after.
All right.
Sheehan, right side, good.
So is that why we put a game in on the 3rd?
I think so.
Which incidentally is your birthday, right?
Yep, the big 3-0.
The big 3-0, I was going to say that, yeah.
Unwin 3, right side, misses under 37 seconds to go. Decker is able to get the ball. Staus in the left corner, guarded by Sheehan. Staus, a little bit maybe too hard at the back side of the basket. Sheehan will bring it up. Sheehan will just dribble around. I don't know, Kennedy, I don't think they'll take another shot.
I don't know.
Think so.
They maybe not. It all depends. It looks like they're going to hold the ball. Looks like that's what Coach told them to do because they're not attacking the basket. So I would imagine that that's all she wrote. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game's over.
And the final score, Kennedy 67, St. Paul 44. And the Kennedy Eagles get their first win of the season over the St. Paul Falcons, but a hotly contested game, and both teams really kind of left everything as far as on the court. We'll send it back to the station real quick and wrap things up here from Kennedy High School. This is opening night, the NVL, right here on 1320 WATR, 7.7.
Not much more to say about this game. 67-44, opening win for the Kennedy Eagles. I did just notice and said something to Chris over here. The man, the myth, the legend from Kennedy, Jack Taglia, just walked over to talk to his old buddy Lavasser and AD Dave Ironimo. And so, Chris, they just dominated them once they got things going. It looked like they started real slow and they got out to a 5-point deficit, didn't score for over 2.5 minutes, but man, once they put it in gear, that was the end of it.
One thing, though, I will admit, and I think you would agree that early on there was a lot of heat checking. I think maybe that should have happened because of how many threes were shot. And it looked like for a time being that St. Paul, both offensively and defensively, rebounding-wise, they were getting those. But then, like we mentioned, over time, the physicality started to wear down on the Falcons.
That's it. What do we got for scoring totals?
We've got scoring totals for the winning team for Kennedy, 19 from Trueheart, and also got 13 from Davis off the bench, and I think that's a player that we need to watch as we do more Kennedy games. And then for St. Paul, the leader was Jamie Leggett. He had 19 points, and then we talk about kind of, who can score beyond Leggett. Well, the next closest was Suzio with 8.
Let me tell you, that was 19 hard points.
Oh, 100%.
Hard points.
It feels like probably 40.
Yeah, that was hard points.
Yeah. Free throw shooting, 11 of 17 with St. Paul. Kennedy was 5 of 10, 6 made threes by Kennedy. A lot of misses. So again, something for us to watch as the season progresses. Dave, any final thoughts before we start heading towards next week's game, Pomperog against Nanawa?
No, it was just a good start for Kennedy. I think both teams had some cobwebs and worked them out, and I think the better team that was on the floor won tonight, definitely.
Now, again, before we send it back and we wrap things up here, any previews as far as Pomperog? I know Nanawa will be somebody we saw quite a bit last year.
Yeah, no, I haven't had a chance to get over there. I'll get a chance this week to get over there to one of their practices and talk with Dave and get some ideas from him of what his team looks like.
So, Dave, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you
too.
next week.
All right, buddy.
Now, wrap things up here from Kennedy High School. Our thanks to the coaches and ADs of both Kennedy and St. Paul. And also thanks to Kurt Schmid and the 1320 WATR studios. This opening night and also the 76th consecutive year of high school basketball.